Our Indy 500 picks. Our picks do not come through yet again.
No, you're a bad picker.
Well,
you're a bad picker.
I just
drew
a name out of a hat.
Andretti
really.
got 13th, but the guy that won it, and our expert here, Dave Vaughn, I don't think anyone saw that coming. Did they, Dave? No. So
Not at all.
Not even Dave. Who I had to text after his guy crashed in the first 5 minutes of the race.
That's why they don't race on paper. They race on the bricks. That's why.
And then he said he didn't know what to do with the milk afterward.
Well, is he old enough to drink it? I don't know. He couldn't put it in.
He didn't know if he was supposed to slam the whole thing or what.
Isn't he supposed to climb the fence?
No, that's just Elio.
Oh, okay.
Where did he finish? Did he finish? Is he still racing?
He might be racing. I don't know.
Finished.
Well,
10 maybe.
all right. So maybe I was better than you then.
You were better than me.
Except I picked Ari Leindyke.
All right.
No more racing predictions this week. Maybe some racing on the track.
Track racing, yes.
We got state track and field coming up this weekend. As we shoot this, it's raining, and the brackets for softball and baseball are getting a little messed up. But we'll try to keep
everything's a muck.
We'll try to keep that a little bit in line and let you know where things stand or what's coming up this week. And I wanted to touch base the NBA Finals starting rematch of last year.
Steph and Clay against LeBron.
The Splash Brothers and LeBron.
LeBron's got a little more help this year, so it could be interesting.
He does. We'll talk all that coming up on this week's episode of Extra Points. There you got your heat sheets all.
I got my cheat sheet heat sheets. Yes.
All right, we got everybody's names down and everything. We got state track coming up. I'm Eric Schmoldt, sports editor of the Gazette. This is John Barry. And we're back to talk more sports here on Extra Points, and I think might as well start with WIAA State Track and Field Meet.
State Track and Field Meet.
Friday and Saturday up at UW-La Crosse, and we got, 13 Janesville individuals and 3 relays. And
14.
Oh, 14 now.
14, Peyton Bender.
Now, yeah.
Shout out to Peyton Bender, who, despite finishing 4th at the sectional meet, I believe he has the 6th or 7th fastest time, so he got in as an extra qualifier, so... hats off to Peyton because you don't see a lot of extra qualifiers coming out of anything because the standards are so high. So we're up to 14, and I would expect some of those to find the podium.
Maybe we start there, just within the city. Who, like you said, some of them could find that podium. Who are some of the ones that should be on the radar to finish in the top 6?
Well, I think you start with Peter Larson, the fine sprinter from Janesville Craig, the senior who just continued to dazzle every meet. He'll run the 100. I believe he's probably 5th or 6th in the 100, but the 100 is a different breed up there because at the sectional meet, you're just trying to get through. And once you get to state, it's the best of the best. And Peter...
You turn the afterburners on?
Yeah, I think a lot of times competition brings out the best in people, and hopefully for him that's the case because he certainly is fast enough to finish in the top 6. And then he anchors both Craig's 400, 800 relay teams, which the 800 relay team going to struggle to probably get into the top 6 unless they, pick it up a notch. But the 400 relay team, which came into the postseason with the fastest time in the state, I think they're seated about 5th or 6th. So they've got another good chance and get through in qualifying on Friday and get into the finals. And you never know what can happen. It comes down to handoffs, getting a good start out of the blocks. And that's something Craig's done all season long. So if they can stay consistent, I could see them getting in the top 6. After that, some kids, Nathan Farrell ran a PR at the sectional meet and finishing and winning the 1600. I believe it was 4:16. So I think the top time coming in is a kid from Middleton at 4:10 or 4:09. So Nate, if he continues to knock times off of that, he's going to probably finish on the podium. When you look at Parker, certainly a chance for maybe a Bree Porter in the triple jump or Julia Hartwig in the shot put.
We've seen her throw.
We've seen her throw further, but
the time,
the top seed coming in, I think, is 48.9 or something like that. So she'd really have to have that maximum effort. But just getting there is good. And for Bree Porter, the 3rd straight year at state, and she's gonna finish a great high school career in 2 events. But probably not a real great chance for any of those Parker kids to medal unless that 1600 relay team of Ellis and Brooks and Bendorf can possibly, maybe sneak in there. Right now, I think they came in at 324 and I think 3:18, which is the top time for Oak Creek, and that's 6 seconds. That's a big differential there, but you never know. State meeting, you said you might head up there on Saturday, and
I just need to see it for the first
it's
time.
something that everybody's got to take in because the crowds are incredible. The athletes, just looking at the heat sheets, there's some kids already that are ahead of state record times or throws or whatever it might be. And like I say, it usually brings out the best, and there's always somebody that seems to stand out, and that's probably going to be the case again this year.
Who are some of the others from the area around here that are on your radar? I know you said Broadhead Judah.
Broadhead Judah's 3,200 relay team has the top qualifying time coming in. So, that group is certainly with Amber Pickle, Taylor Blumel, Cameron Novi, and Cora Purdue, and 3 seniors and a sophomore in Purdue, and they come in at 9:40.61, and they are 8 seconds ahead of the next best time. So, and Bigfoot also has 2 relays, the 16 and the 32. So, 2 teams there that
could have some Rock Valley rivalries going against each other. Huh?
Exactly, right. And then Ashlyn Oren, the fine sophomore from Edgerton, in both the long and the triple jump, a good chance to get in the top 6. And then after that, it's just going to come down to some individuals and like I say, whether they can PR and PR at the right time.
It seems like every year there's somebody that we didn't have on the radar.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden they get up there and they go wild. And
that's what happens. It brings out the best of the best. And sometimes for those kids, under the circumstances, the collars get a little tight where, you just don't have your best, whether it's a jump or a run. And for other kids, it brings out their best. And I've seen it in the number of years I covered it. And I can guarantee you somebody will come out of nowhere and get themselves on the podium, and you'll be like, wow, I didn't see that coming.
Probably should mention Orfordville, Parkview too, down in Division 3.
Yep.
Sent quite a few on from sectionals.
Hunter
as well.
Marshall, both in the sprints for the boys, and certainly Cam Burtness in the distance for the girls. And for the Vikings, it's a program that just continues to get better and better.
So we'll see how that shakes out.
Yep.
Hopefully, we always like to cross our fingers for good weather to make sure that thing actually
and,
gets
and I think I'm going to do my feature story or my preview on Sarah Zilkowski, the senior distance runner from Whitewater, who I think is a 2 seed in the 3,200, who's battled injuries all year and didn't really compete until the regional tournament. And she goes into state as a number 2 seed. So I'm going to do a little digging there, but it sounds like a pretty good story. And another girl from Whitewater, that fine program. Keep an eye on her in the 3,200.
They've churned through some distance
every
runners
year.
here.
Yeah, every year.
That's kind of what's on our radar for the weekend. Obviously, we got baseball and softball going on. Kind of tricky with how we film this because there's supposed to be some games this afternoon. Maybe
already
they'll get
pushed
played
back.
Maybe they'll get played Wednesday because of this rain that came through Tuesday as we're shooting this. But baseball getting underway, really. Parker scheduled to host Elkhorn tonight. We'll see.
That gets played.
That was Tuesday, but Craig is supposed to play the winner of Milton and Oregon on Thursday. Parker, if they were to win this Elkhorn game, would go play at Fort Atkinson on Thursday. So baseball really kind of getting started in earnest.
And that's the whole thing is if they can get the games in tomorrow, you're okay. Then you go back-to-back days for those teams, but you wouldn't have used the same pitcher anyway. The problem comes if you can't get anything in tomorrow, then it really gets pushed back. We saw that last weekend when I covered the Beloit Turner softball team, tried to play on Friday, had wanted to move the game up earlier to avoid the rain. There was a problem with getting kids out of school, so they had to keep it at 3:30. The rains came hard, pushed it back until Saturday. They weren't sure they could play at Turner, and it just really made a mess of things. And, Turner, you and I talked about it, as good as they were this year and as good as Kaylin Packard was on Saturday, one bad pitch ended their season. Instead of Turner and Delavan once again in that Division II sectional, it's Columbus at Delavan, and not sure that's the game we thought we'd see.
Delavan, Darien, scheduled to host Columbus Tuesday. That didn't happen. So Wednesday afternoon.
Yep.
And we'll see if they play. If they win, they would be in a sectional final at McFarland on Thursday. So.
Probably against McFarland, who with Kutzenmeyer pitching has been outstanding. Chemnitzer pitching has been outstanding, and I think they beat Platteville 5-0 or something like that. And I would expect them to get there. And no offense to Columbus, but I thought Turner was a better team. Like I say, just one bad pitch end of the season. I would expect Delavan to beat Columbus and move on to face probably McFarland in that sectional title game.
Well, we'll see next week. We'll let you know if Delavan Darien survived, made it through, and they would be going to their first state tournament ever if they were able to get through the sectional.
Which would be good. And like I say, I think Packard was probably the best pitcher that Columbus saw all year, and Speth throws harder than Packard. So, as much as they struggled against Packard, I would expect them to struggle even more against Jenna Speth.
And next week, too, we can break down what I call Super Tuesday.
Super Tuesday for
baseball in the area, and for Division I, I'll be down in
Should have
Beloit,
a number of teams involved, too.
Yep. We'll break down where those games are going to be. Well, I don't know how we're going to do that. We might have to shoot Monday or something next week to try to get
up
those
a day.
previewed.
Or go live.
Just do it live.
Periscope. Periscope, right from the stadium. Beautiful it'll be Pullman Field in Beloit.
I like it. And then maybe we'll talk a little more soccer. Girls soccer tournaments get started this week, Thursday and Saturday matchups for them, and then we'll know if anybody's through to sectionals for next week. So that's kind of where things stand.
That's kind of where things are.
School.
State tennis coming up this weekend. Don't have a lot area-wise, but that's usually the case just because the powerhouses every year continue to be powerhouses, and that's your private schools, and it is what it is. And when you look at golf, a chance for Edgerton to possibly sneak through team-wise, and maybe Parker's Matt Zimmerman could sneak through as an individual qualifier. But the best golf in the state right now is, at least team-wise, isn't being played in the area.
Yeah, not this year.
Nope,
so much. So that's where the high school things stand. Elsewhere, I don't know, I was just kind of intrigued by the NBA Finals coming up here. Yeah. We saw Klay Thompson and Steph Curry battle back from 3-1 down to Oklahoma City to advance and try to defend their title against the Cavs again. Another rematch. But like you said in the intro, LeBron actually has some help this time. It's not just like us three and some other guy they found to walk off the street. He's got Kevin Love and Kyrie
Irving, and that makes a big difference. And say what you want about Steph Curry, and was he the most valuable player? Yeah, he certainly was, but I don't think there's still any question that overall LeBron's still the best player on the planet, and he's going to the finals for the 6th year in a row. That hasn't been done since a couple of the Celtics did it 50 years ago. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive stuff. And, with the Splash Brothers, with Curry and Thompson, Klay Thompson in Game 6 on the road that's as good an individual performance as I've seen. He couldn't miss from 3. I think he had 11, which was an NBA record for the postseason. And then last night in Game 7, they got down early, but those two kind of took over again. And Steph in the fourth quarter was just ridiculous, like always. And I think there was one time where Westbrook was smiling about something, and I think he had defended him or done something, and Curry just came back and was just ice and just drilled a couple of threes, and then he hit that step-back 3 with about 15 seconds left, and that kind of sealed it for him. And he got the last laugh, and it's a good matchup, and I think there's going to be a game. Somebody said it on Twitter. There may be a game where you see 75, 80 3-pointers attempted. I mean, that's what it's come to, and
just a three-point contest.
3-point contest. But I think when you look at the difference, they said in the last 3 games, Golden State outscored Oklahoma City by like 75 points from beyond the arc, and that was a difference.
I've kind of gone through a weird transformation. Like, I don't watch the NBA, and I didn't watch much during the regular season except a couple of Warriors games here and there, because they're just kind of fun.
Oh, they're great. They're really fun to watch.
But I think I'm almost over it.
Yeah,
I'm going to root for LeBron.
All right, I'll take the Warriors then, and I never lose, so I would expect Golden State to win. And no, it's going to be a great series, and I think I'd be shocked if it didn't go at least 6 games. Either way, I would be stunned. For television ratings and for money, but I think those two teams are pretty even, and I would expect it to be a lengthy, well-played series.
I would think most of America, though, is going to be rooting for Golden State. I mean,
they are.
Everyone's kind of fallen in love with.
There was a poll. Well, actually, the poll on one of the shows I watched this morning was, I think, 60-40. 60 for Golden State, 40 for the Cavs, and there's still a lot of LeBron lovers out there, and for good reason. I mean, like I say, he's LeBron. He'll turn it up a notch too. And like I say, he's got some help now. So it's not going to be LeBron against the world. And that may be an advantage for Cleveland. If they can steal a game at Golden State, which that's tough to do, but if they can, they've been lights out at home. And that may be the difference.
Sharks and the Penguins on the NHL side of things. They got started Monday night.
So saw a little of that.
A couple of former Badgers there, mostly cheering for Joe Pavelski.
I am too.
It's hard not to.
It is. And I got an interesting email today, and I'd forgotten about it. The Stanley Cup winner gets the Stanley Cup for, they can have it for a week at a time. Well, as captain of the Sharks, I would think, is there a chance Joe brings it to Janesville and parades it around and, maybe down the ice arena or something like that? But it'd be pretty cool. And he is from Plover. So,
they've also got in a couple of weeks coming up a little anniversary reunion for the 10-year Badger national championship.
Right.
So I think he might also just
be able to bring it back for then. Yeah. But anyway, I'm rooting for the Sharks. I know they didn't win last night, but, how old do you think, and I know just because I heard it today, how old do you think Sidney Crosby is?
29?
28, I think it was. I thought he was in early 30s because it seems like he's
when he came in the league,
been around forever.
Came in the league, he was like 18 years old.
Yeah, so he was like 13 when he came in the league. And, and he was spot on last night. And again, he's, along with Ovechkin, probably one of the two best players on the planet. But, that's going to be a good series too. And the Penguins, more familiar names on that team. But I think the Sharks with Thornton and Pavelski, a team that's kind of on a mission right now.
Anything else on your radar? Your boy Spieth.
My boy Jordan his back nine on Sunday was, he chipped in out of the sand, or he chipped in after he hit a wayward second shot. He chipped that in.
I liked his reaction.
He birdied a putt on 18 that he needed a 3-putt, and he just said, "Oh, the heck with it. I'll just drain this 40-footer, and it won't matter." And I think it chased some of the demons away that have been following him after the Masters, and then that breakdown last week, when he had it on the back nine there as well. So good for him.
He's back.
He needs the money.
Yes.
He's struggling right now, and he could go home Sunday night from Fort Worth to his home, which is probably a half-hour drive, and relax in his $4.5 million mansion.
Sleep in a bed of money. But golf's better when you got a couple of guys that are really playing well.
And, I know Steve Stricker had his press conference yesterday, or today it might have been, for the Senior Champions Tour event that's coming to University Ridge, I think, middle of next month. And
same weekend as the Ray Fisher, unfortunately.
Is it the same as the Ray Fisher? And the Ray Fisher, early on, entries were down, but there's still time to get.
A lot of time.
A lot of time to still get in that. But, we're winding down the high school season, and starting to get into the summer, and things will slow down a little bit.
For like
Brewers?
For like 5 minutes or something.
Brewers?
Whatever Brewers.
They're
I stopped outside Wrigley the other day, so I got a whiff of what successful baseball smells like, at least.
Well, that's a rotten stench.
Yeah, well, it didn't smell very good. Just stop long enough to snap a picture and move it along.
I'll give you that much, I guess.
Appreciate everybody tuning in this week. You can let us know what you think of the show by emailing us at sports@gazetteextra.com, or leaving a comment on YouTube or iTunes or Twitter or Facebook. And we'd read it here, but nobody ever likes to comment. So we must just be really good.
We must bore people to death, and they start writing and fall asleep.
Thanks to Dave Vaughn for producing the show, and Kevin McLeod for the music. And we'll be here. Maybe we'll try to be here a little earlier next week and try to
earlier.
Get some sectional baseball preview.
Sounds good.
See you then.
Take care, everybody.